successful in business is because of this: the game. See, you can be the most talented YouTuber, photographer, videographer, graphic designer, coach, author, you name it. You can be the most talented basketball player in your neighborhood. But in order for you to join the big boys, the NBA, you need to understand how the game is played. See, in order for you to understand or learn the rules of the game, you need somebody that has played there before, somebody that have learned and mastered the rules of the game to teach you that. And once you learn that, you will be able to be drafted. And here's what happens. After you drafted, you will get a coach that's gonna keep your amazing talent in check. See, you cannot just get on the field and do whatever you wanna do. Here's the sad reality. Talent alone is not enough for you to be successful in business. Having all the amazing equipment that you need to get the job done is still not enough for you to be successful. Now, when I say successful, I mean being able to consistently land premium clients. That's why I decided to create Content Creators University. Who am I? My name is JP Hightek. I am a global branding expert. I am also the founder and CEO of a media agency called Perfect Zone Productions. As a matter of fact, you are in one of my studios right now.
Hey, it's Tanya Smith here of Get Noticed with Video and Stream Like a Boss TV.
Hey everybody, my name is Michelle Singh. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I have an educational consulting firm.
Hey guys, James Hicks here from Hicks New Media.
JP has an incredible presence. You know, when I go and I look people up and try to find out more about them, everything was stellar. Anything that you could find about JP showed that he was an upstanding gentleman, that he delivered amazing and beautiful visual presence, that he tells the truth and he is authentic and genuine. And all of those things made me say, yes, absolutely.
I just worked with JP Hightek from Perfect Zone Productions, and we spent the entire day together doing photos and video shoots for my rebranding of my company. And when I tell you the entire experience was amazing, it was amazing.
Right, I had the privilege of working with JP on some brand and media assets that I wanted worked on within my studio, and everything from the initial conversation to the planning discussions to the constructive feedback and criticism that I was given from him was absolutely spot on.
I was all on it because I believed in him and I could see what he was capable of doing through the lens of others who have been on the internet that have been impacted by him and his truth. So I actually became a client of JP because he gave me truth. He said, you know what, I like your live stream. I enjoy the content. But the presence, what you're putting out there in terms of the professionalism of your live stream needs to match the level of the excellence of content that you're delivering. And when he said this, I paused for a minute and I thought, he's so right. So what did I do? I asked, can you help me? Can you and your team help me? And JP and his team created the most beautiful graphics. They were perfectly branded for me, for what I wanted to do with Stream Like a Boss. I find myself using them consistently and regularly in almost every live stream show that I do, and I often get compliments and people DMing and asking, who did your graphics? Who put that together?
This is me before JP.
And this is me after JP. Do I look awesome or what? I finally have correct colors. I'm human. Yes, I am human. I have the correct colors in the background, my regular purples that I can see with them. You know, I can see the purples. I can see the purples. So I'm really happy, JP, for you putting this together for me, this custom LUT. It took about 48 hours and it was really amazing customer service. So go ahead and get yours. This is Dr. Elo out.
And I thank him, I thank his team for what they've provided me. I definitely look forward to working more and closely with them in the future as my needs evolve. So I really just wanted to tell folks, if you're looking for someone to help you design, build either your website.
Hey family, guess what? The Content Creators University is a show that airs every single week, but I want to connect with you. I want you to go ahead and download my mobile application. If you have an iPhone, go ahead and download my app called JP Hightek TV right now onto your phone. If you have a TV, a smart TV, my app is also available on your Roku TV, right? Go ahead and download JP Hightek TV on your Roku TV or your Amazon Fire TV right now, and let's connect together, right? I want you to grow with me. I want us to grow together. If you love podcasts, I'm also happy to tell you that the Content Creators University is available syndicated across every podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, Audible, Google Podcasts, you name it, we are there. Spotify and all of that. Go ahead and download it, listen to it, and do me a favor. If you appreciate what we're doing, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Leave me a review on any of those podcast platform or mobile application platform. Let me know if any of the hard work that we're putting into this community, this broadcast, this podcast is helping you. If you appreciate all the amazing guests that we're bringing onto the platform to share their expertise with you. This is a lot of work, family, and I'm doing all this in order for you to be able to grow your business the right way, leveraging content creation. Thanks so much, and if you appreciate what we do, go ahead and as well subscribe to the YouTube channel, JP Hightek Reviews. Follow me personally if you want to, connect with me on all social media, and the handle is @JP Hightek. I love connecting. Like I always say, network is the new currency. So I want to see you online, I want to connect with you, and I want to hear from you. Let's grow together. Be safe, like I always say. See you next time. Shalom. Peace. So if you're new, allow me to introduce myself. My name is JP Hightek. I am a global branding and media expert. What I do is work with individuals, small businesses, and corporations build the premium brand. And we do that by leveraging a couple of things. We're talking technology, content creation, and visibility and via of your online presence, website, web design, online creativity, such as your video presence, and everything that goes into creating a premium brand so that you can ultimately charge more for your product and services. And here's the thing: this show is something that we do every single week, and it is called Content Creators University if you're new. And so the motto here is create, impact, and innovate. What does that all mean? Well, we need to learn and stay rooted to all the new ways of doing things. And we understand that technology is a droplet that is always evolving. There's always something new that's happening. And we have amazing experts across the world that have unique expertise, a unique way of doing things that you and I, we may not know, right? So if we can learn 1% of what they're doing in order to improve our processes, our life become better. And that is what we're talking about today, right? We're talking about ways to really set up a goal. Well, we're talking about strategies, specific steps, right? To do that with our special guest. More in a little bit. If you didn't know, this show is both sponsored and listener supported, which means that we want to give a shout out to our sponsors and then want to share with you what's new in the Content Creators University. That takes about a couple of minutes. And then after that, we read our guest bio and bring our guests onto the stage. Hopefully, you're excited as I am, because today we're about to learn from another expert. Without further ado, let's go right after this intro. Let's go.
This is Todd's mom.
Hi.
In a moment, Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
What?
Aloud, please.
No. Supermodels on trampolines.com. Why don't girls like me? How to overcome an overbearing mother.
Okay, cut.
If you wouldn't want mom looking through your web history, why would you let hackers, ad companies, or your internet and cellular provider do the same thing?
Why does my junk burn?
They can track and record everything you do online, but not if you have ExpressVPN.
Why did you buy a $200 ninja outfit?
For fighting.
ExpressVPN apps keep your activity and identity private while you browse, stream, email, or download. Protect all of your devices with just one click.
Are my hands small?
Okay, I'm done. You guys are all terrible people.
ExpressVPN. Take back your privacy today.
All right, family. Shout out to ExpressVPN. They've been a sponsor on our podcast since season 1. We're now in season 5 of the Content Creators University. And if you don't know, ExpressVPN is a virtual private network that you can use today in order to protect your assets, your investments. If you spend any time on the web, there's one thing you need to understand, that it is not if, it's when people will try to attack, hack, or steal your information. And so it is vital that we protect our investments. And so ExpressVPN is giving you and I 3 months free. Any follower of our podcast, right? Any member of our community, you can go ahead right now and go to expressvpn.com/JP Hightek. expressvpn.com/JP Hightek. Get yourself a free 3-month subscription with a 12-month, sign up there. You will not regret it. I love this solution. It's just amazing. And so you guys know we do not partner with any company that we do not believe in. And ExpressVPN is one of those that we believe in. So go ahead and check it out. Again, the website is expressvpn.com/JP Hightek. If you're listening to the podcast, that is JPHIGH. TEK. All right. So the next thing I want to let you guys know, if you did not know, we have our book, right? The Live Stream Blueprint, #1 Amazon bestseller, that is currently available for you to go ahead and grab your copy today. Listen, live stream transformed my business, right? It allowed me to go and drastically grow my company to 6-7 figures in 5 months. And there's a specific strategy when it comes out to going live that I decided to share with people. And I'm grateful for all the support that I received, pushing this to a #1 best-selling on Amazon. And I want you to go ahead and grab your copy today. If you're like, yo, listen, I really want to level up, build my brand, and use live stream as the ultimate growth strategy in order to really grow your business and convert more customers, go ahead and check it out. Again, the name is the Livestream Blueprint. You can go to the website, thelivestreamblueprint.com today to grab your copy. All right. For the folks that didn't know, we have our own private community, and that is called Content Creators University. All right. Go ahead, go to the website, contentcreatorsuniversity.com today. Create a free account and join the private community. No, this is not a Facebook platform, right? This is a private community of like-minded thinkers, creators, leaders, CEOs, people that are serious about growing the business, leveraging content creation and technology. And so I always say, we got to surround ourselves with smarter people, right? And so that is one thing that I love doing, which is networking, because it is the new currency. And if you're excited about networking, then I want to encourage you to go there right now and let's grow together, right? I want to learn more from you. I want to grow from you. And I want us really to impact the world together. The website, again, is contentcreatorsuniversity.com. Now, finally, I get this a lot, family. Folks are like, JP, how can I work with you? How can I connect with you? Well, you can do that easily. All you have to do is go to the website, jphightek.com. That's my website. If you want to invite me to speak at your next event, let's connect. Go to jphightek.com/speaking. jphightek.com/speaking. And let's see if we're both a good fit for each other. If you have an event, you're looking for a dynamic speaker, I would love to partner with you. Go there today and let's see how we can partner on your next major event. Now, family, enough about me. We do have a special guest, right, backstage today. And her name is Hannah Roper. Now, here's the thing. Hannah and I, we were both in the same private community because we're both speaker at a specific event, right? A specific summit. And I really love what she does and reached out, and she decided to spare some time and come here. Even though she's a busy woman, she decided to come here and teach you and I certain things in regards to her expertise. Now, a little bit about her: an entrepreneur, speaker, radio host, and country music singer. That's the amazing side of it that I'm excited about. Country music singer, family. She is the driving force behind The Female Creative, right? An empowering coach and mentor for creative businesses. And check this, paving the way, right, for businesses to define their own version of success. Ladies and gentlemen, she's not just a professional speaker or coach, she's also a creator, right? And so she understands the trouble that us creators go through and the way we think about things, which is, really amazing, and positions her as one of the best person to talk about what we're talking about today, right? Which are the steps to a specific methodology, right? and the way we think about stuff, the way we brainstorm and plan, because planning is more important than execution. If you just jump to execute, you're not planning, you will lose a lot. And we're about to talk about that aspect here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to run an intro, but after this, she'll be on the stage with us. Get ready. This is about to be good. Hey, Hannah. Welcome to the Content Creators University. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, and I am so excited to be here with you.
Yes, ma'am. The honor is all ours. Like I was saying, I want to thank you again for agreeing to come here on the live show right here and share with us your expertise. One thing that we say is that every guest is a professor, right? So Professor Roper in the house. I'm excited about that.
I love that. I love that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm so excited because I used to be a teacher, so I am all here for the
Okay.
professor title.
Let's go. All right, fantastic. Now, of course, I know the listeners are like, yeah, you read a little bit of the bio and all of that, but we want to know more about her. Could you please take a minute, introduce yourself, let them know what makes you so amazing and which part of the world you're joining us from today, please.
Oh gosh, what a question and a way to start. I am from the UK, so I live in the south of the UK in a city called Portsmouth. In one direction, I can see the sea, and the other direction, I can see just the most gorgeous green forests and farmland. So I count myself as very, very lucky to be in this part of the world. And a little bit about me, the best way to sum me up is I have had a very varied career history. I started off as a teacher. I've taught children of all sorts of ages. I've taught in the UK. I've also been and taught over in New York as well, a variety of different subjects. But I took a little bit of a left turn in that I realized that teaching, although I loved it, the way that the UK education system is, it is very restrictive. So I kind of went a little bit left field, and I actually joined law enforcement, and I was a police officer for
Oh, wow.
13 years. And as you can imagine, I saw all kinds of things, some of which are kind of still in my mind today. The most amazing part of humanity, but also at times the worst of humanity. But I still carried my teaching with me, my coaching with me. And about halfway through my policing career, I actually went into the training department and I trained existing police officers in a wide variety of topics, from anything from modern day slavery to domestic abuse to new law, new legislation, changes, new policies. And that was a really pivotal time for me because I was creating content, I was creating learning content, and I had to become an expert at things really, really quickly to then be able to create content and deliver that. And that is something that has absolutely carried me throughout my career. Whilst I was in the police force, I had a relationship breakdown, and my previous experience, or almost my background, very much came from music. I was in musical theatre, I was a dancer, I was a singer, I played instruments. But when I was in this relationship, all of that fell by the wayside. I wasn't using my creativity. But following the breakdown of that relationship, I went back to my creativity and I started using my experiences to write songs that very comfortably sat in the country music genre. Because, you know, if you're going to write about heartbreak, you've got to write a country song. Right. So I started to do that, and I started to brand myself. I created this brand, interestingly, not under my name, under the name Lily Garland, which are actually two of my middle names. And I created this brand from scratch, and I learned all these skills in branding, in website design, in social media usage. I created my own merch line. I put on my own gigs, my own events, and I learned so much. It was all self-taught. It wasn't something that I'd done at university. I'd done the creative side, but not the business side. And I learned so much. And from that, I decided to create my own country music festivals. So in Portsmouth, every year, I hold a country music festival called Country on the Coast. That taught me even more about event management, the financial management, stage management.
Right.
I bring 30 plus artists from around the world to Portsmouth, and they perform on a stage at this country music festival. And, you know, things were great at that particular time. When the music was really booming, I actually chose to again change careers, and I went and worked in the aviation industry. So, you know, I've gone from teaching, I've gone from police, I now work with air traffic controllers. I had Lily Garland, the brand, I had Country on the Coast Music Festival. And I was really interested in juggling all of these things. And then of course the pandemic hit, right? So everything stopped. The festival stopped. I stopped performing as Lily Garland. I was put on furlough from my corporate job. And I was part of an online community of women who were just looking for connection. You know, during the pandemic, we really missed that, right? Didn't we? Suddenly we were all stuck in our own houses, fed up of seeing our family. We wanted connection with other people. And I was connecting with this online community of women, and they were all so creative. They all had so much to give. Anything from a Pilates instructor to a photographer to making crocheted hats, knitting, calligraphy, art, journaling instruction. So creative. But I realized what they were lacking was that brand awareness, was how to market themselves, was how to get their message out there. So I just started helping, I started supporting, and that's how the Female Creative was born, because I realized there was this space to take all of the knowledge and all of the experience that I had through Lily Garland, through the Country Music Festival, all of my learning and development experience, my teaching, my coaching, all of those skills. I could package all of that up in the Female Creative and really help creative businesses, predominantly female-led, really learn how to monetize something that they were passionate about. And for them to choose, was that a side hustle? Was that something that they wanted to balance alongside caring responsibilities, a job? Did they want to leave employment and follow this creative passion and monetize it full time? And for me, it was about creating that space to say, you know, you don't have to follow the path that everybody else is following. You can define what success looks like for you, right? You can choose which direction you go in. And even better, if you find that direction doesn't quite work out for you, you can switch it up. You can change direction, because as a creative, we have a special power. We, you know, the way that we think, the way that we make decisions, it allows us to be able to bend and flex in a way that not only suits a business, it suits ourselves, it suits the environment around us. So now I'm in a position where I still host the Country Music Festival. I don't perform myself anymore, because I love providing that space for other artists. I love being able to facilitate the festival that puts other people on stage. I coach and mentor, I run networking events for creative businesses, and I still work in the aviation industry, because I'm a firm believer that I'll know when the time is right. I'll know when that door is about to close, and I'm there to follow another opportunity. And I'm not there yet. So I also host a radio show, as you mentioned at the beginning, which is an absolute passion project of mine. I have always wanted to be a radio host, partly because like you can do it basically in your sweatpants with no makeup on, and no one knows. But I host a country music show every week, every Wednesday. that is a local country music show, but it also, can be it broadcasts internationally because we've got our own app and everything like that. And that again is a real creative outlet for me. I interview a variety of industry professionals, country music artists, both from the UK, across the world, Australia, Canada, the US. I feel so privileged that I get to talk to all of these incredible creatives. What everyone has got in common that I come into contact with is they're all content creators in some capacity. And that's why I'm so excited to be here and talking to you today.
Fantastic, family. As you can see, her background is eclectic, inspiring, and unique. And you are truly the epitome of supporting creatives. And I love your journey. That's so inspiring. Thanks for taking the time to break it down for us, because it does paint a full picture, understanding that, you are truly not just doing this for money, but you're doing this for purpose.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Thank you for that. It's just amazing. So let's go ahead and dive into today's conversation. We're talking about the ultimate 3-step goal setting methodology. That is part of your expertise. That's something that you help businesses achieve. But before we ask that question, right, take us a step back, right? If you were to have the power to go back in time and meet yourself when you were 19 years old, knowing all the stuff you know today, what would be one major piece of advice you give yourself, and why?
The one piece of advice, I mean, there's probably a lot of pieces of advice that I would give to myself, but if I had to narrow that down, if I think back to my 19-year-old self, I had no idea what life was going to open up for me. And I came very much from a linear background. You went to school, you went to college, you went to university, you then went and got a job. I think what I would say to my 19-year-old self is to follow those opportunities, even if you're not really sure where that's going to end up, even if you haven't got the full journey worked out just yet. If an opportunity presents itself to you, follow that opportunity, because that's going to lead to meeting somebody else and another door opening. And I wish I had known that with confidence when I was 19 years old. So I think that would be my biggest piece of advice, is follow those opportunities, even if you don't think you've got it all figured out.
Love it. Follow those opportunities. You just never know. You just never know what a specific opportunity can become. A lot of apprehensions in this world, and I love that. Trust the process, follow the opportunity, and see where that can lead you. That's just fantastic. Love that. All right. So now let's talk about this methodology, right? First of all, what I want to know is what actually inspired you, Hannah, to develop the 3-step goal setting methodology, and how has this impacted your journey as an entrepreneur and creative professional?
I think for me, this is something that I developed and evolved because, probably like a lot of people that are watching, you're told as a business owner, you're told as a creative, set goals. When you are at school, at college, you're told to set goals. And I have set so many goals over my lifetime that fell by the wayside, that felt almost too big to achieve, or I forgot about, or I had to change direction because they just weren't serving me. And I realized that quite often the way that we're told to set goals actually can end up restricting us, and it can end up stifling our creativity, because we have so much focus on this particular end goal that actually we don't enjoy the journey. We're constantly focused on, what I'm going to achieve, what I need to achieve, what's that end destination. Whereas actually, as a creator, we're always on a journey. That end destination, they're more like milestones, checkpoints along the way, because for us, we need to keep fulfilling that creativity, keeping that creative spark alive to enable us to feel fulfilled and keep moving forward. So that's where this methodology that I've created really has come into play, because the biggest thing around it is making sure that creativity is integrated, but also providing you with flexibility. I am, as you've probably gathered, I'm very passionate about being in control of your own journey and being able to bend and flex in a way that suits you, and not being confined by boundaries that are unhelpful, or external expectations that actually end up stifling your creativity.
Wow. Family, I hope you guys are taking note, because she's dropping a lot of gems, right? I want to give a shout out to all the folks that are joining us in the comment section. Please let us know in the comment section where you're joining us from. We'll love to hear what do you think about our conversation? How are you feeling about it? And of course, where you're connecting from, understanding that we're broadcasting live on multiple platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and you name it, of course, on my Roku TV application, JP Hightek TV. Go ahead and download it right now if you didn't know about that. And also the mobile application, JP Hightek TV, is free. Go ahead and get it. So, Hannah, here's the thing. You've developed this amazing methodology, right? So, what are the key components of your goal setting, right? Like, I want you to take some time and share that with us. What are the key components of this, right? And how can content creators genuinely, or entrepreneurs effectively, apply, it to their businesses?
And I think that is a really good place to start, in that this is applicable for any business type, any content creator, and however many activities, businesses, platforms that you are juggling. And the key components of this 3-step methodology is the types of goals that you set. So often, and the clients that I've worked with, and I've done it myself, is there is such a high emphasis on success being associated with financial compensation, that to demonstrate your success, to demonstrate your standing, your position, your expertise, I was seeing so often was being attached to a financial value. Now, don't get me wrong, the financials are very important. Money makes the world go round. We all need it. However, what I was finding with the creative businesses that I was working with is this pressure, this external narrative to focus on the financial goals was actually causing a huge amount of overwhelm. And overwhelm causes us to stop. When our brains get too busy, when we have too many decisions to make, when we don't know which direction we're heading in, we get overwhelmed, and that overwhelm creates inaction. And you get this very negative cycle of inaction leading to more negativity, leading to self-doubt and lack of confidence, which then leads to more inaction. Before you know it, that destination that you had set yourself just seems a million miles away. So the first part of my goal setting methodology is to set 3 different types of goals. Financial is one of them, because that is important. There is no business without money, without driving income. But the second is creative. And this is the bit that I saw that was missing from so many creative businesses, is they weren't setting a creative goal. They weren't setting a goal that really fulfilled them, motivated them, set their hearts on fire. They lost a lot of that creativity. And this is where the flexibility really comes in later down the line, because quite often when we are a creative business, we are generating income from doing something we love, our creative that started off as a hobby, that started off as something on the side and becomes the main focus. And when you start to, again, put that financial aspect on it, it starts to dim that creativity. It starts to stifle it. So it's really important to set a separate creative goal that allows you to still keep that creativity flowing in a different direction to maybe where the monetization sits. The third type of goal is an impact goal, because as creative businesses, we are creating something for others. We are creating to serve our audience. We are creating a platform, a space, a product, because we want to serve.
I love that. Yes.
And this is the commonality that I found with creative businesses, again, is when you don't focus on the impact that you're having, when you don't focus on the community that you're trying to serve,
Mm-hmm.
again, we get disheartened. We start to get into a bit of a negative spiral. We get overwhelmed because we're not focusing on the things that light our souls on fire, that give us that jump out of bed. And so for me, setting the financials is really important, but it has to be balanced alongside the creativity and alongside the impact that you have as a business owner, as a creative, as a content creator. So that's kind of the first part, is to set these 3 different types of goals. And again, we need to take ownership of that. We need to define what success looks like for us. And that's where those 3 goals come in. And for some of my clients, it might be 1 per segment, so 1 creative, 1 financial, 1 impact. Others that might have a bigger business, they might be farther down their journey, they might do 3 financial, 3 creative, 3 impact. That's the beauty of that, is that you can scale it up or down as much as you need, dependent on where you are in your journey at that time. Because for me, flexibility is so important. So that is one of the key components. Following on from that is really where the teaching, the learning, and the development methodology that I have been, enacting for over 25 years now in these variety of different industries, I realized that they crossed over into the business space and into the goal setting space so seamlessly. So once you've set your 3 goals, the next step number 2, is around breaking those down into quarterly outcomes. So your goal is, if you like, that checkpoint, that milestone of where you're heading towards. I won't say the end destination, because when you're on your journey, you might find out that actually there's another destination, an opportunity might present itself, another door might open for you. So we look at those goals as checkpoints, as milestones in our journey. We then break those down into quarterly outcomes. Now, those are the tangible. That's where it's measurable. That's where you've got a bit more of a time allocation to it. And the reason I say quarterly is because, again, creatives are very busy people. We also can get quite distracted. The shiny object syndrome definitely comes into our lives fairly frequently. So when it comes to breaking them, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yes.
So by looking at the quarter, looking at a 3-month period, that is a really realistic time period for you to achieve an outcome. And you could have 2, 3, 4, 5 outcomes for each of your goals in that time period. The other important thing to note about that particular time period in that 3 months, we look at a quarter and we think we've got 3 months. The reality is, when you throw in family, vacation, public holidays, other demands on our time, actually that 3-month window is probably more like 2 months. So looking at it in that quarterly period allows us to balance all of the demands on our time alongside working on our business, on our creating and achieving those goals. Now, one of the important things to note about creating those quarterly outcomes is you've got to reverse engineer it. Start at the end, start at that milestone, and ask yourself the question, what do I need to do to achieve that milestone? And you work your way backwards, quarter by quarter, until you get to the place where you're at now, constantly asking yourself, when you've come up with an outcome, what do I need to do to achieve that? What do I need to do to achieve that? So you start at the end and then you work your way back to the beginning, which can feel a bit counterproductive, but it absolutely works. Now, with your outcomes, they are still fairly high level. So just to give you a bit of an example, one of your creative goals might be to start a podcast. It might be that is your milestone. You want to be able to have a published podcast out there for your audience to listen to. That is going to fulfill your creative side of things. Interestingly, that could also sit in your impact goal, dependent on where your motivation comes from. So that might be your milestone. Create the podcast, publish the podcast. So when you're asking yourself, well, what do I need to do to make that happen? Well, the step before that is you've got to launch the podcast. And then in order to launch the podcast, you've got to make sure you've recorded your first episode, right? To be able to record your first episode, well, you've got to have recorded your intro, your outro, sorted out your jingle. To do that, you've got to have a podcast theme. So can you see how I'm kind of working backwards then from that end destination to enable myself to create those quarterly outcomes? And we have those written down. And again, there's flexibility there, dependent on the season. You know, a lot of the business owners that I work with are mums or their parents. So when it comes to August, for example, there's no point trying to get anything done. But when you look at August within the quarter, that's less overwhelming because you think, oh, well, I've got a bit of time either side. So actually, I can achieve this. I can get that done. I can set myself some outcomes, even if I end up taking August out of my time frame. So the quarterly outcomes allow you that flexibility, but they're also those little beacons of light. These are the steps that you're going to take. This is the direction that you're going to head in to get to that milestone. So that's step 2. Step 1 is the 3 different types of goals. Step 2 is breaking those down into quarterly outcomes. Step 3 is your monthly activities. And this is where it gets even more flexible. Some of my clients love to plan this out 12 months in advance. Some people do this month by month. Some do it quarter by quarter, half a year by half a year. It's flexible to suit you and your needs. But what that basically means is you take each of your outcomes and you ask yourself that question again. What do I need to do to make this happen? What are these little activities, those small little ripples that I need to do to hit that outcome, to hit that measure of success that I have determined for myself, which is going to take me towards my next milestone, my next checkpoint? And those activities, that's where the detail comes in. So that could be, you know, if I go back to my podcast example, some of the monthly activities might be drafting out a list of potential sponsors. They might be drafting out a list of potential guests. It might be researching your guests on social media. It might be creating an application form. So really small things that on their own don't feel like you're achieving a huge amount. But remember those ripples. Remember, even when we throw a tiny little stone in the water, you still get an impact. You still have a ripple. You're still moving towards your goal. And I always say to my clients that even one teeny tiny ant step is better than no step at all. So if that's all you can manage today, you're still winning. You're still being successful. And some days you might take a giant leap. You might have a really productive day. The stars might align and your energy is on fire. And that's again where the monthly activities come in, because you know what to do with your time. Any pocket of time you have available, you've got your list of monthly activities and you can dive straight in. The overwhelm is gone. You've already planned out. You've already thought about it. You mentioned that in the introduction, you know, the importance of planning. That's where this goal setting methodology really comes into its own, because so often with creators, with businesses, we do have these pockets of time and they just present themselves, but quite often we waste them because we're thinking, oh gosh, what was on my to-do? What's my priority? What do I need to do? And before you know it, that pocket of time is gone. So by having this recorded, having your 3 types of goals, your quarterly outcomes, and your monthly activities, when you find yourself with a pocket of time, you can go straight to that and you know what to action to drive your success and drive you towards your goal. And it's flexible. It can change. You know, goals are there. We set them. We can change them. And you can do that with this 3-step. You can, you know, I keep saying the phrase bend and flex. I think it's just so important as creators that we empower ourselves to bend and flex, because the world is changing constantly, right? Consumer habits are changing. Social media is changing. All these platforms are changing. This goal setting method allows you to revisit and go, that's not working for me anymore. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to set something different, but you can still use this 3-step, and you can do it at any point in the year. You know, I purposely haven't talked about January to December. I always say to my clients, you know, the phrase like, you know, a puppy's not just for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Goal setting is not just for Christmas. Okay, you can do
Mm.
that at any time of the year, and this 3-step method allows you to reset and recharge and then get back on your journey heading towards whatever your definition of success is going to be.
This is so amazing. Family, this is a master class. I hope you guys are taking note because, oh my God, the level of value that is being delivered to us today is mind blowing. It's next level. I mean, this is so fire. I love how you've established it going from the end, right? And coming back to the beginning. And that's what I always speak and tell my, close circle members. Tell them, listen, it's just like having that vision, right? You have that blueprint of what ultimately will become. Now that you have that blueprint, what are you supposed to do in order to achieve this? And I love that because you mentioned one thing is there's nothing wrong to reassess. There's nothing wrong to pivot, we call it, right? There's nothing wrong to take a step back and look at it and say, okay, I've been doing this for, let's say 90 days, 6 months, a year. It's not working the way I thought it would be. Maybe let's adjust the way we're doing things. Let's review it. Let's change the process a little bit. Let's tweak things so that we keep sharpening the iron and getting better at the craft every day. So that is just fantastic. I looked up earlier and I'm like, oh snap, I can't believe we're almost at the end of our conversation today. However, one last question I have for you, right? Before you share with the world where are the best places they can connect with you, book you for your service and all that. One thing that I wanted to ask is, in your experience, right? In your professional experience, why do you think that so many people struggle at clearly defining, setting up their goal, and sticking to it? Why do you think is causing that and causing people not to be successful at doing it?
I think there's 2 parts to that, from my own personal experience and from working with the amount of clients that I have done and what I see in them. Although they're all different, they all come from different business backgrounds, the common themes are, number one, they're comparing themselves to everybody else. And we hear about it all the time. We have people talking about comparisonitis, comparing yourself, stay in your own lane. It's your journey. All these things are so true, but so easier said than done. Because we all do it. We all fall into that comparison trap. The key is knowing how to bring yourself back out and move on rather than sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the comparison. So my experience from myself and from the clients that I've worked with is we set goals that are actually other people's goals. We mirror our version of success on other people's version of success. And we don't take into account our own lifestyle, our own demands that we have on our time, our own personalities, our own neurodiversity, all of these incredible things that we now know about in the world. But we still don't give ourselves that compassion to say, actually, that's not going to work for me. Or I do want to get there, but I'm going to need twice as long because I'm balancing all of these other things, or because I've got caring responsibilities, or whatever it might be. Right. So I think the first issue is we compare ourselves too much. And that leads on to the second part, which is the overwhelm. And that is the thing that I help my clients with the most. I am not a marketing expert. I am not a sales expert. I have a lot of experience in those fields. I'm not a brand expert, but I've got a lot of experience in that field. But what I am an expert at is helping people reduce the overwhelm, clear out the noise, and work out what they need to do to take action to work towards their version of success. So the overwhelm that is created because we set these goals that are other people's. We set these goals based on our family's expectations, society's expectations, whatever it might be. And when we do that, we become so overwhelmed. There is so much to do that we don't start at point A. We don't simplify it. And that end goal becomes this huge monster, if you like. It becomes counterproductive because it's actually adding to our overwhelm. So the great thing about the 3-step goal setting methodology is you can scale that up or bring that back down, dependent on where you are in your journey and what you need right now to reduce that overwhelm, to enable you to take action. Because when you take action, that's when the opportunities come. That's when the clarity comes when you take action, because you're trying it out, because we're creatives, we're doers. You know, when we don't do, when we think too much, when we get stuck in our own heads, which I am hugely guilty of, when you get stuck in your own head and you get so overwhelmed and you stop. So we need to learn how to stop comparing ourselves. I'm not going to say don't compare, because you're going to. It is human nature. You're going to compare. But the magic is how you overcome that, how you come out of that, and using that to reduce the overwhelm that you feel and take action. And that's where the 3-step goal setting really starts to come into its own to enable you to do that.
Fantastic. Hopefully this is helping you guys out there. I know it's helping me, learning a ton from you, Hannah, today. So I want to give you a shout out. This is amazing. Of course, there's some folks that will be like, okay, take my money. I'm sold. I just want to connect with you. Where do I go? Do you have any gift? Do you have any special gift for our audience today? And also, how can they book you? And where are the spaces you spend most of your time for the networking aspect of it as well? Take it away.
So I have created a checklist based on 4 business foundations that I have seen that really underpin success as a creative business: messaging, strategy, systems, and mindset. So I have created a really easy to use checklist, which allows you to go through and ask yourself, do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Because where those gaps are, that's where you can set your goals. So it leads into you setting your goals, your quarterly outcomes, your monthly activities around the gaps that you have, because without a solid foundation, it gets rocky, right? You can use the boat analogies, building analogies, whatever you want to use. Ultimately, the foundations aren't set, then it's going to be shaky for you. And it's difficult to ride out change when your foundations aren't solid. So I've got that is available on my website, which is www.thefemalecreative.co.uk. So head over, you can sign up to get that freebie. You can also then find out all about my services. So whether you want to have a one-off strategy workshop with me where we can go through all of your goals together, or if you want to work with me on a slightly longer term basis, all the information is on the website, including a link to book a quick chat just to check that we're the right fit, and that we can align with what it is that you're looking for. And then in terms of connecting, in terms of networking, I hang out predominantly on Instagram. So I'm _female creative, and also I have just reignited my LinkedIn. So I'm Hannah Roper UK over on LinkedIn as well. But in all honesty, if you Google the female creative, and as long as a bit of orange and pink pops up, then you will be able to find me.
Fantastic. She told you, family, go right now, grab your freebie, connect with her, network with her. Like I said, you really want to surround yourself with amazing, better folks, smarter people that have done things that you want to achieve. That is how we get better 1% every single day. Hannah, I want to thank you for your amazing time, for giving us all the gems today, your expertise, breaking it down for us, not holding back. You're simply amazing, an amazing human being. I want to thank you for taking the time, because you are in the UK. And what time is it there right now?
Late. Let's just say it's past my bedtime.
It is late. So thanks again. Please stay backstage as I go ahead and close with my team, my community, and we'll be right back with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Family, there we go. All right. Another amazing episode, and loaded with tangible strategy that you can implement today in order to improve your business. Let us know in the comment section which part of all this did you appreciate, and share this with a friend or family member that you truly believe might take advantage in using some of these strategies. My name is JP Hightek. You guys already know we meet every single week, and I'll see you again next week. same time, same place for another episode. Be safe, like I always say. Shalom. Peace.